was some of the food that you ate on the farm when you were growing up?
Oh, I ate lots of vegetables and milk and eggs, everything that we grew on the farm.
Did your grandmother do any baking or cooking for special occasions?
Oh yes, we
What
had.
type of foods were they?
Well, she would make a nice cake. She always baked. We always had homemade bread.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What
She
about,
made our own butter. We all made our own butter.
were you affected by the food
Were
rationing?
you affected by the food rationing?
Yes, because we could only have a certain amount of sugar, very little sugar, during when it was rationed. And because we made our own butter, we didn't have to worry about butter. Other people had to worry about the amount of butter that they do, but the sugar was the important thing.
Okay.
We couldn't have very much sugar.
How did you bake without the sugar?
How did you bake without the sugar?
Well, you just used a little bit of sugar. You didn't have very rich sweets at all. You know, you didn't have much in the way of cakes or anything.
Was molasses
Oh,
rationed as well, or just sugar?
I think just sugar, but I'm not positive there.
Because I always think of like Nanny's molasses cookies and things like that.
We use molasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could get, when you could buy it. You see, sometimes they weren't bringing it in. I mean, it wasn't rationed, but sometimes the stores wouldn't have it. That would be the thing. In the same way, you could use honey. If somebody had a beehive, you could use honey. It wasn't rationed, but it was just hard to find. That would be the thing. And now, what else was rationed?
Tea, wasn't it? Tea and coffee?
Yes, that's right. Tea and coffee, I think, were rationed.
Didn't you used to pick
Yes,
Labrador tea?
Labrador tea, because tea was rationed. I don't know about coffee, but tea was rationed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Grammy used to pick it for the minister's wife, who was from England, right? Isn't that right?
Oh, yes. I used to pick Labrador tea because it was so hard on people that drank a lot of tea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were better. See? I hope that's not being all, just take a, don't put all that in anything.
Oh, no, we just don't want to forget anything.
No. If I went home, I might be able to check something home.
Mm-hmm. You can always call us.
I could remember about the things being rationed.
Did you have a ration booklet or card
you had ration coupons.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to, if you were buying sugar, you'd have to give them so many coupons for the amount of sugar you were buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Now, wasn't there somebody's special cake or something like that someone saved up for a while? Am I getting that story right? Or
yes,
didn't you have a story around that?
Well, I think everybody.
I think maybe it was one of the times Bubba was coming home.
It could have been that, and we would go very, very careful about our sugar, so that we would have enough to make something special when he came home.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put it on your cereal and things like that. You just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You can tell her more than I.
Oh no, that's okay.
Remembering better than I.
Yeah.
About that. But no, I do remember about we were better off than most people because of making our own butter.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, yes. Tell Sarah about the margarine for people who didn't have their own butter. Didn't they used to have to? They didn't want it to look like butter, Sarah.
So it was white when in the store. It was.
Yep.
And then you had to color it yourself if you wanted it to look like butter.
Yeah. What, with food coloring?
yeah, something like that. But that was it, so that people wouldn't be selling something for butter when it was just the margarine was just white. But now over in the States you could get the yellow margarine, but in Canada you could just get the white.
Oh, you told us that story about going across.
To get the colored margarine.
That's right, because you were in Oak Bay, which is close to St. Stephen's.
Yes, just right
really close to the border with.
Yes, that's right. People would go across because you could get colored margarine in the States, but you couldn't get colored margarine in Canada.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that, Deborah. You're right about that.
Well, what happened? I don't know if you know this or not, but what happened with the Ganong factory during the war? Like,
Well, they
Because they wouldn't have had the sugar, right?
so they wouldn't have much chance to do anything. They would have to have it shipped in from God only knows where.
Probably somewhere down in the Caribbean.
Yes, because you see the ships weren't bringing in all that stuff.
No.
Because of,
Well, it was still dangerous to try
it
to
was-
ship.
that's right. I don't think that maybe they didn't. I don't know if they ran it during the war or not.
I don't know. And I was wondering if that would have been enough for a company to go out of business. They obviously made it through it.
Yeah.
And we might look that up
Yes,
because it's kind of interesting
right.
thinking about
I
it.
have a Canadian encyclopedia's home.
Yeah, take a peek in it.
If you remind me to
Yeah.
do that.
Yes.
But
And we can look on the computer too.
Oh yes, you can find all that on the computer.
Yeah.
But that's right. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, it was. We were so much better off than a lot of people because and then you see, each of us children had one, and we didn't need as much as the grown-ups.
Oh, yes.
You
Yeah.
know, and we all had the same amount. I mean, it wasn't a children's thing and then a grown-ups. I don't think the amounts. I'm not sure about that.
We'll look that up. That's a good question to find out with Mrs.
Yes,
Trello.
find out if everybody got the same
Yeah, that should be
amount.
something that we could figure out together.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
aide
Yeah.
Yeah.
was with me in
Just
class.
find that out. Because we did get candy in wartime, so the Gnoms must have been, we'd get a sucker or something like that.
Yeah. So they
Because
must.
I have the thing that Sarah, that Robin made, about our meals
Yes,
and things
yeah.
like that, and I put that in this album that I have.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit big for the album, but I put it in anyway. I didn't cut anything off it. It's in
Yep.
the album.
And then I think when you guys were talking about how the lunchtime meal was the big meal of the day
Oh yes, that's
because of all the hard work.
yes, and it was meat and vegetables. You see,
Yeah.
you grew your own vegetables, you killed your own beef
Yeah.
type of thing, and we had our own hens, so we had our own eggs.
Yeah.
So we had our own butter because we had a cow.
Now, what about wheat and things? Was that easy to get? I guess because it would be a Canadian commodity.
Yes, I don't think we had no trouble with flour.
No.
There's lots of flour, but the sugar was the thing.
Yeah.
Sugar
So
was the big thing.
anything that had to travel the oceans, I would
That's-
guess,
that's
because it
right.
was all over the world,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of piracy and destroying of the merchant vessels and things like that, right?
That's right. But now I'm just trying to think. But I know sugar was rationed.
I bet cigarettes were probably rationed. Do you know that? Or was that? I guess that's grown in the States. Tobacco.
Yes, my grandfather always had his pipe, and see, nobody smoked cigarettes unless your grandfather was home.
Yeah.
Dad was home, he would have cigarettes. Because he was, the army. Yes, because you used to send them to the soldiers too, cigarettes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I
In like the
mean-
care
I mean
packages.
like if you're sending a package
Yeah.
to somebody, I think they used to put cigarettes. I could be wrong on that too, dear.
Yeah.
And I don't know about tobacco. It might have been rationed.
That's another good thing to look up, Sarah.
Yeah,
We could do that.
because we just had my grandfather just smoked a pipe.
Yeah.
But now I'm wondering. You have me real curious about the tobacco.
Well, we'll find out some of these answers for you, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to stop
Your
that now.
mother's more knowledgeable than your grandmother.
Well,
You
I've just
first.
asked you before.
Mm-hmm.